What I mean by serial retrader is there are a lot, I shouldn't say, there's a lot, but none of them in this room. None of them belong with, none of them with seven-figure multifamily here. But there are a lot of people that will just throw a LOI on a property to try to get it under contract.
That's bad. At
a price, knowing that that's not even anywhere close where they want to buy it, right? And then through every process, whether it's inspection or, hey, I just visited with my lender or whatever they come up with along the way, then they come back and ask for price reduction. Now, we want a price reduction. We want a price reduction on this, on that, on every little thing, right?
Yeah.
So, when you're doing underwriting, you should also have your CapEx budget in there, right? So then people come back and go, well, hey, man, we just had this done and it's going to cost, $2 million and we thought it was going to be $1 million on, or $800,000 on CapEx, whatever. You name it, I've heard it, right? So that serial retrader is when they want to come back and trade because they want to eventually try to get down to that price that they really wanted to buy. Instead of offering at that price, they'll just try to put it, and then they just try to nickel and dime you, I guess, if you want to use that term too.
Yeah.
So you just don't want to do that because the brokerage community is not that big. And I tell people all the time, we live in Nashville. Yeah, it's a big little city, really, right? And you, like I say, I have good relationships with all the other brokers. We talk, we know who has asterisks by, things like that. So you're not going to see the deal flow that others are if you have the reputation as a serial retrader, and that's what it means.
And to just piggyback on that real quick, because I had just gotten done telling you guys that I had retraded 2 deals, right? So there are what's called retradable offenses. And like he said, $76,000 swing in the NOI. That is a retradable offense. You will not get an asterisk by your name if you go back to Brian and say, your NOI was here when I put it under contract, it's here now, and make it make sense. The reason they accepted a $1.1 million price reduction was because I took it to the broker and I made it make sense. I said, listen, here was my budget coming in for $300,000. Here is my new budget right now, plus all the vacancy and everything that I'm going to carry to get to this increased $900,000 budget, plus all the vacancy and everything that I carry is the reason it's a $1.1 million retrade. It's completely justifiable. I was able to look him in the face and say, this is a justifiable number. So that to me is not a serial retrade. I'm not just asking, like if you're just asking for things like, hey, I can't pay 5.8, I could probably pay 5.3. And that's all the context you give, that's when you start getting asterisks next to your name. But like even the Metro deal, we said 4.15 is our max, 4.15 is our max, 4.15 is our max. He made us come up to 4.6, and I said, I'll come up to 4.6, but everything has really got to check out. There can't be any CapEx needed. And we went in the property and it needs some love. And I said, listen, I was at 4.15. I'm willing to come up, but that was my original offer that I wanted to be at. And we came up and I told him knowing early on before we went under contract that we were going to try and get closer to that number. And he said, that's fine. Just make sure you have some math to back it up. And we did, right? So have the logic and the math to back up a retrade if you're going to do it, like a $76,000 swing in the NOI or an increased CapEx budget of $1.1 million, which I sent him all the stuff, the decks, the HVACs, everything, boom. You can't argue it. I got it from a contractor. This is a GC that's doing it. And if you send that and then say, this is our new number, now that he actually has some ammo to go to bat with to get the seller down versus just calling and say, hey, these guys want $500,000 price reduction. Seller's like, why? He's like, that's what they want. Like you're sending him into battle without any ammo. Like he's got no ammo to go into battle with. And why would he ever call you again? Honestly. So don't be scared to retrade if you have a retradable offense that makes sense. But like he said, don't get asterisks next to your name because you don't know what you're doing and you're just asking for a price reduction.
And there's definite offenses.